As always, some of these items could be up for sale.
And on today's show, I'm going to show you how to convert your oil lamps to electric without harming the integrity of your lamp. It's simple, it's easy, and it's simple.
Easy for you to say, simple.
We'll show you that a little bit later on. And do you remember Zuzu from Mr. Wonderful Life?
I've seen them so many times, of course.
She is today's super collector out of Overland Park, Kansas, and she collects of all things It's a Wonderful Life memorabilia. Carolyn Grimes is on the show. It's one thing to collect It's a Wonderful Life. It's another thing to have been in the movie, I think.
Say, we have a wonderful show for you coming up on today's Personal FX.
Those soldiers never die. Those gentlemen I love.
Welcome to today's Personal FX. Glad you joined us. Let's say hello to the wonderful people who've come by to have their items appraised on today's show. Happy Friday, wonderful people.
Hi.
This is Andy. Hi, Andy. How are you, sir?
How you doing?
Where are you from?
I'm from Middletown. I guess she had gotten it out of a farmhouse across the street, and here we are.
I love it. Let's see what it's worth a little bit later on. Glad
Great,
you're
thank
here. Interesting item. If you'd like to be a guest in our FX department like all these wonderful people, all you have to do is give us a call at that Sprint-sponsored 1-800-FX-FX-FX1 number, and we will be happy to set that up for you. All right, let's go out to Overland, Kansas, where J.D. is visiting with today's Super Collector. There, J.D. Right.
Is quite another thing. This is who said the famous line, the teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. And this is a signed photo, a cast photo, to Zuzu with love, Jimmy Stewart. Now, this film was made 50 years ago, and we have with us Zuzu today.
All right.
Hello.
This is Carolyn Grimes.
I'm a super collector.
She is a super collector, and you have a super collection of It's a Wonderful Life memorabilia. Now, you have an interesting story. You made 15 films in Hollywood before you were 16 years old.
That's right, and actually I made 16 because It's a Wonderful Life counts.
There you
What
go.
was it like as a child actor back in those days? And if you look over here, John, these are some original headshots from when you were a child actress.
Oh, that's
Well,
great.
you know, I was just a kid. It was just a job. And when you went to audition for a role, you couldn't read. So what you did was take a portfolio with expressions. And you have a facial expression of sadness or happiness or whatever, you know, that you have to show to the people that you could do.
Well,
So that's how you got the part.
And she got a part in, you know, one of the most memorable films in history. And what we're going to do is when we come back, take a look at some of Carolyn's personal memory of It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, this is going to be great.
It's
Carolyn,
going to be very good.
Yeah.
It is going to be good. You're going to like it.
I know it. I know I am. I like it already. Thank you both very much. We'll check in with you a little bit later on.
All right, John.
Oh, looking forward to that. All right, let's get into some appraisals. Claire, you have Sarah in the game.
I certainly do, John. And you know what? I think if we check up how many times everyone has seen It's a Wonderful Life, hundreds of times, thousands of times. And Deirdre Featherstone, who've seen It's a Wonderful Life.
Yes.
We have done that, yes. And ready to do our first appraisal of the day?
Yes, we are.
Sarah, good to have you with us.
Thank you.
And where are you from?
Silver Spring, Maryland.
Oh, how nice to have you in New York.
Thank
Going
you.
to see some sights while you're here?
Oh, yeah.
And where's...
Who died. And they settled in London, and their daughter came to this country, and she brought them with her, and then her daughter died 5 years
So
ago.
these keep on getting
So
passed
these-
along the family.
yes.
Could you... Whoops, they make a little bit of a noise so we can check them out.
Great. Okay. Well, Alan and I both flipped over these when we saw them. These are so special. They're sterling silver. They're made in Russia. The mark down here is 84, which is the Russian mark for sterling silver. The most unusual thing about them is that the Russians did do a lot of metal work, all kinds of wonderful work, but this is signed Goldman. It was very unusual for a Jewish name to be on Russian work.
And he
It made them,
mostly-
it's a Sabbath candlestick.
Right, he
yes.
actually did most of his silver work and smithing work was actually making Judaica.
Interesting.
Exactly.
And how do you go about dating them?
The date letters are down here. Well, this is marked 1874, and that's exactly, you know, the feel of it, the wear of it, the whole thing.
And it is superior quality silver. If you
Very
take a
nice.
look at it, the design work is very good, it's intricate, and it's a better quality piece.
Right.
How wonderful that it stayed in your family all of these years.
Yes.
This area, it's called Judaica. It's collected. It's Jewish wear, and it's beautiful artwork. Not a lot of it survives, which makes it more desirable, more collectible, and conservatively, we put these
1,200
at
at least.
1,200 up to 3,500. to the good, you know, desirable collectors. They're
Sarah,
very, very desirable.
Do you have any idea they're worth that much?
No, no.
No?
1,200 to 35.
500.
Up to 3,500, yeah.
3,500. They've been in your family a long time.
Yes.
I would understand
Yes.
if you wanted to keep it in the family, but you can put it up for sale if you'd like.
I think not. I
Stay in
think
the
I won't.
family.
It's going to stay in the
Ah,
family.
that's a
That's where it
lovely.
belongs.
That is right. How beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for saying that. Enjoy your time in New York.
do.
Be some good plays.
Give it a
We
try.
have one more candlestick to
Yes.
give you. I put that back in there. Thank you.
Thank you.
212-802. Well, this is not up for sale, but 0082 is the number for any item that will be up for sale in the future. Lois, come on in. Because this is so unusual, and I know Deirdre before the show couldn't stop looking at this item as well. Where did you get it?
I bought this at an auction house, an estate sale at an auction house in Dover, New Jersey. And I have a pair of them. That's one of two, and the other is in as good condition as this one is.
What we found so interesting about this is that the marks, you know, you've been kind enough to research these marks, and they date from 1736 to 1795. My feeling on this is that this is not the period. I believe it's about 100 years later. I'm not an expert in, you know, in Oriental wear, but my feeling on the porcelain is that it is about 100 years later, which brings it into, you know, the late 1800s. Exactly. This
But they're
pink
still
is not
desirable
exactly, yeah, very, very desirable.
Well, since I acquired them, I carry them around the house even just instinct, like they were a very precious thing.
They
I'm
are
so
very
afraid of
precious.
dry.
They're, regardless of
Yeah.
whether, you know, they're 100 years before this or 100 years after, they're still on the wholesale market between 1,500 to 3,000. And I'm giving you a big range because I've seen this kind of wear. I'm not familiar enough with it to say, you know, it's the $3,000 piece, but there's a very good possibility that it is.
I would tend to think upwards in the $2,500 range myself.
Was it in that range?
For the pair.
For the pair.
For the pair,
Was it
yes.
in that range that you paid?
No, nowhere near that.
She used to be able to buy
How
this
much
really
do you
well.
want to ask?
I put a blind bid in for $160 for the pair, and I had a feeling he never put them out for auction that night. It was just a feeling when I went and picked them up.
Yeah.
Do you want to put them
They're
up for
incredible.
sale today?
Definitely.
Isn't that
Well,
something?
somebody will know it better than we do, but it's really...
Thank you so much
Thank
for being
you.
with us. And Larry is joining us right now. Hi, Larry.
Hi.
Good to have you with us.
Nice to be with you.
And what do you collect?
I personally collected for many years military miniature figures, British coronation.
Many years starting when?
Starting when I was 6 up until the time I was in college.
Oh, wow. And where did you get your Star Wars?
That's my daughters, the two older girls. That was purchased back in the 70s, just around the time Return of the Jedi came out. Sears had a Christmas catalog, and we bought that for the girls, and they've kept it all these years.
Now, there were a lot of these produced at the time, were there not?
Yeah, they were produced for each movie, actually. You'll find boxes that say Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. Of course, the earlier boxes are worth more money, but you don't even have a box.
I have the box that Sears sent it in.
Oh, you have it in a
It
Sears
says
box.
Return of the Jedi. I don't remember them
Sears-
being individually packaged.
Sears boxes are worth even more because these were made directly for the Sears marketplace only, so the boxes had different variations on them and sometimes included more pieces. This is missing a few pieces, though, I've noticed. It's missing the chessboard on the inside, it's missing the radar on top.
With the Star Wars movies just now being re-released, how is that going to affect the value?
Right now, there's a lot more interest in it, so I think the pieces are going to rise a little bit. I don't think they're going to shoot through the roof astronomically, but I have been seeing a steady rise in Star Wars pieces, and of course, as the younger kids get into it, the marketplace is going to expand, and I think we'll eat up a lot of the earlier pieces. But he has a nice set of figures here. Some don't have the accessories. This is missing the lightsaber. It's always good to have the guns and the little pieces that go with the figures. It adds a little bit more
If
value.
everything had been there, it would be worth how much?
If everything was complete, it would be something totally different. I'd rather do it from what he has here. But you're probably talking about maybe $150 in figures and about another 60 to 75 on the ship. So you're probably talking about the 2 1/4 range for everything that he has here. If it was in tip-top shape in the box, these pieces, $250, $300 just for the ship alone in the box. And these figures carded, this could be $700 if it's on the card, this figure here. If you have it loose, it's only, $10, $15, but, carded in box is the way to go.
You want to say ditto to that, Deirdre?
I don't need to say anything. No, this is what you know. You need
Well,
to
you
say all
need to
this.
say whether you'd like to put it up for sale.
I'll put it up for sale.
Put
For
it
the
up
girls.
for sale?
For the
Okay.
girls.
John, I got to go back and see Star Wars all over again.
Yeah, look, I got one of those ships right there. Look at
You
that.
do?
You know, you just mentioned that the film has just been re-released for its 20th anniversary, and it's actually doing better than some of the other films that have just been released for the first time.
Isn't that phenomenal?
It is phenomenal. Now, the kicker is a lot of things didn't get marketed 20 years ago that they're now starting to go back and remarket them. Take a look at this. This is a Monopoly game, Star Wars. Remember, you didn't know back in the early days if you were going to be the wheelbarrow or the horseshoe? Now you can be Han Solo or Darth Vader, the whole thing. This is something that in 20 years, if we're still doing this, Claire, we'll be appraising this, you know?
We'll be there.
Take a look at this card. Ewok Light Festival Fund matures. Collect $100. My, how times change. All right, let's get a preview. The next item to be appraised on today's show belongs to Sharon out in Kansas. Hi, Sharon. What do you have?
Hi. I have brought Nippon pancake server, and I'm going to have it appraised next on Personal FX.
What's up? I'm LL Cool J. You're watching FX, the world's first living television network.
Good day, Uncle. Need a lift?
Nice car, kid.
It's my Subaru Outback Sport.
Another Outback.
Same all wheel drive traction as yours. Better gas mileage than the Cherokee Sport.
That's fine, but can she...
Alcorn or RAV4? No problem.
Smart boy. Must run in the family.
Outback Sport. The newest Outback from Subaru.
You've heard about Claritin. Now ask your doctor about Claritin D 24-hour.
Experiences.
A prescription medicine. It's as clear as day and night. Ask your doctor about Claritin D 24-hour.
A clear choice.
Claritin D 24-hour.
It's time to ask your doctor.
Call 1-800-CLARITIN today for a $5 coupon and free information.
Pursuing the mighty beast, the big game hunter ignores all danger.
So he needs his mom to safeguard him from the germs he's gotten into. Safeguard antibacterial soap not only eliminates more than 99% of those germs,
It keeps fighting some of the really tough ones he'll get into later on, up to 5 hours after washing, like no regular soap can.
yet it's gentle on his skin. Safeguard keeps on protecting, just like you do.
Hi, I'm David Orrick, and I want you to take the Orrick Challenge. I'm so confident I've built pound for pound.
This February, you've got only 28 days to enjoy all the screams, laughs, and adventure. Only 28 days to enjoy the newest Hollywood hits, only on Stars. You would be cool. And only 28 days to enjoy the hit movies of the 60s, 70s, and 80s on Encore. So you better get busy.
I got it. I'm gone.
Check out Encore and Stars today.
Congratulations, you found the beat.
Two of the great Encore networks from TCI Choice Theaters.
In Wisconsin, we have always believed in fairness. In Wisconsin,
it is illegal to discriminate in renting
or selling a home or renting apartments because of anyone's sex,
race, color, sexual orientation,
religion, national origin, marital status,
lawful source of income, age,
family status, or disability. Fair is fair.
A message from the Equal Rights Division, Wisconsin Diller.
Welcome back to Personal FX. Jean is joining us. Now, you've had this piece since when?
Oh, I've known it through my childhood. My mother was a piece from my mother.
So it brings back memories?
Yes, right. And she used to put Pussy Willows in it on the mantle.
How nice. You know, it's like the teapot that we saw earlier in the week that brought back memories.
That's
Because your
right.
mom had it, and green dishes that I had. And did you know anything about it before you came today?
No, just that it was Noritake, and I thought it was worth maybe something.
Okay. Well, during the commercial break, both Deirdre and Alan appraised this for you. What did they tell you about it?
They said it was worth between $75 and $125.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hand-painted.
It dates back to?
The 1920s.
How interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Were you interested in putting it up for sale?
I would. Yes, I'd entertain some bids.
Okay, we'll do that for you.
Okay.
Our number is 212-802-0082. But it's fun looking at pieces that bring back memories, John.
It looks like it's in excellent condition, too, huh?
It is in great shape.
I think we're too inquisitive. I'd be like, I can't sell that. But that's my whole house. You know, I can't sell that or that or that.
My problem is I can't keep everything. I have too many things.
I keep getting bigger spaces.
You two have to get together, have some sort of party or something. Let's go out to Kansas, where Sharon has joined us. Hi, Sharon. How are you?
Hi. Fine, thank you.
Great. Tell us more about what you brought.
Well, it's Nippon pancake server. And evidently they used to use them in the old days, just bring to the table with pancakes. And it's old mark. It has the risen sun.
Very nice. I have to tell you that I am pro pancakes. So
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
what do you two think of it?
Absolutely.
This dates, actually by saying Nippon on it, it actually dates it between 1891 and 1921, which is when these wares were made. Nippon actually stood for Japan, and
Right.
After 1921, they started using the word Japan. When my other companies, you might see Nippon Japan, Nippon really means part of the company name rather than, in this period, as it meant the country of origin.
These are all hand painted. They're very collected because a lot of them, you know, the covers get trashed. But they're part of breakfast sets sometimes. You see the tea and toasts, and you see these covered pancakes, you know, covered cereal as well.
So this would come in a set?
They can come in sets, yeah.
Oh, definitely.
They're, but now I think they're up to about $125 a piece.
Oh, I'd even
They're
go
up there.
100 and a half even on this. It's unusual, it's nice, I like it a lot.
It works. Keep the pancakes warm.
And it works. That's the thing. About $125 to $150. Is that right? Well, what do you think, Sharon? Do you want to take some bids, or do you want
Most certainly.
Most certainly. Well, we'll serve them up to you and let you know at the end of the show. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and that number to call? Well, I guess you know that number to call. Let's go to Abram here. How are you, sir?
Okay.
Nice to meet you. Glad
Same
you're
here, right.
What do you have here?
That's an ancient spice box that's used to celebrate the termination of the Sabbath and the beginning of a new week.
Well, that's something.
This is incredible work. You can see that piece.
These are actually used for a prayer that they call Pisamim, which is actually where you smell something. And at the end of the Sabbath, they light a candle, have wine, and they make this prayer over the smell, over your senses of smell. And these were very popularly used in the Jewish religion.
Also, again, it's Russian. It's 1867 of 87, RHS. The spice boxes are extremely desirable. What you have is this wonderful Middle Eastern in down here.
And these are exceptional silver pieces. You get the other silver that you see.
Well, there's, as we said before, there's a little bit of it. A lot of it was melted. This piece is probably between $2,000 and $3,000.
I would maybe a little bit lower.
That's the way to sell these if you were going to, is through auction.
Well, do you want to keep it, or are you interested?
No, we want to keep it.
You're going to keep
Good.
it. Okay. Bringing that by, I appreciate that. That is something.
Thanks for having us.
That's just phenomenal.
That is.
Yeah.
Okay, up next is Colleen. Hi, Colleen.
Thank you.
What do you have here?
A letter opener and a letter holder.
Now, where'd you get this?
I bought it at a little antique shop. I collect period pieces, and I actually have been looking for like a desk set, which is Ellen J.G. Stickley.
Oh, okay. All right.
That was great.
Yeah. So then you do need the Tiffany one to go. Right. You go with that.
Yeah, right, exactly. Easy to arts and crafts. Their pieces are very easy, for my eye anyway, to point out. And
It was the higher line art glass, and it was a more reasonable. It was still expensive, but it was more reasonable than Tiffany. Or
I've got out there. Probably think it would retail about $150
$125. Yeah, exactly.
Nice, and has a calendar in there and everything.
Yeah, all the pieces. Now, is that calendar celluloid?
It looks like it, yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Got the grains in there.
Do you want to take some bids? Hold on.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Thanks for bringing that by.
All right, bye-bye. Thank you.
All right, up next is Pat. Hi, Pat.
Hi.
How are you?
Just fine.
Where are you from?
All across the river, New Jersey.
Welcome. What do you have here?
I have two statues that I've had for about 20
Which is the better wear. Out of all the Occupy Japan pieces you'll find a lot of porcelain. The bisque pieces are usually the better quality pieces that came from Japan. But
Bisque is, just to explain it, it feels like sandpaper. For, you know,
unglazed.
Unglazed.
A lot of people have a whole bunch of stuff that was stamped Occupy Japan because there was so much resentment at that period. But the pieces that are out there today are very highly collected. Bisque, more so because they were better quality pieces. And I think these two would probably retail at least at $100.
Exactly.
For the pair.
Yeah.
Do you want to take some bids?
I will do that, yeah.
You will do that, and we will let you know. Thank you for bringing this by. All right, let's go visit with J.D., who's a special super collector. J.D.?
Hey, John, check this out. Carolyn, of course, who played Zuzu in the film, you still travel around and make appearances. And what is the one question that people always ask you?
What was it like working with Jimmy Stewart?
We're going to
Are you asking me that?
No,
Oh,
because
okay, good.
come back on Personal FX Wonderful Life Memorabilia.
Do we have a little music? Look.
Look into the eyes of the human home pet department. Won't you bring him into your home? He does much, responds well to affection, and won't make a mess on your rug. Let Steve show you unconditional love. Really on the pet department, only on F.
Get ready for Untamed Weekend, because it's not just wild, it's hot.
You're sweating. What about it?
Okavango, Swiss Family Robinson, and Grizzly Adams are so hot, they'll leave you dazed. Much more.
Okavango spring water.
FX makes it easy to get the wild weekend heat you're craving.
I'm going in my new Corvette.
Do the wild heat of Untamed Weekend, exclusively on FX.
The Heavy 80s. All your favorite 80s hits in one fantastic collection. Get the Heavy 80s for just $9.99 on compact disc or double-length cassette. That's 18 awesome hits. Here I go again on my own. Audition other great 80s albums. There's no minimum to buy. Cancel anytime.
Order 800-931-9977 and for cassette or CD, plus $3.50 shipping and handling to Heavy 80s, Department 8, Richmond, Virginia, 280.
This news direct from the CNN newsroom. It's the fastest way to access all the world and national news. Financial and sports scores and highlights from Nick and Fred. Fashion and design. Entertainment news. We're here 24 hours a day at CNN.com.
Do you know that it's Academy Awards in Night 7, including Best Picture, Best Director, and Jimmy Stewart for Best Actor, and it celebrated its 50th anniversary last year.
Wow. And it didn't win Best Picture, and it's lasted for all these years. It was such a special movie to so many people.
It's a wonderful film.
It certainly is. And we've got some wonderful items up for sale right now to tell you about. Starting out with the order to $3,000 for the pair. There are two of them. It's from the late 1800s. It is made of porcelain, and so interesting the way it's done. And then we have the Star Wars Millennium Falcon with all the action figures inside. Up to $225 for all of them. It's in fair condition. This is from the late 1970s, so it could be worth a whole lot more if it had been in mint condition with a box. And then the Noritake vase that has an appraised value of around, let's see, $75 to $125. Porcelain from the 1920s, and it is hand-painted.
And also out in Kansas, we have the Nippon Pancake Serving Set, and actually it's that one item there that was appraised at $125 to $150. $18.90 to $19.20, that is hand-painted. Then we have the letter opener and mail holder, and this was appraised at $150, influenced by Tiffany, made by Bradley and Hubbard. And last but not least, we have the bisque figurines here, and these were appraised at $100 for the pair. They're unglazed, that is Occupied Japan.
These are some interesting items today.
Yeah, but...
And for those that are up for sale, our number to call once again is 212-802-0082. I always look forward to It's a Wonderful Life coming on television. I cannot see that movie too many times.
You can't.
No.
You can't. It's one of those rare classics that's just timeless. Let's go see some of that super collection out there with J.D. and Zuzu. J.D.?
Hey, John and Claire, Carolyn just said when Claire said that she loved the film, she said, that means you're a good person.
That's right.
And we know Claire's a good person.
You are good people. Adored it.
Now, do you know what Academy Award it won?
We were just trying to figure that out. Maybe Casablanca?
Of course she knows.
No. It was for the special effects of the snow. They were made from ivory soap flakes because Capra wanted silent snow. The snow before that had been cornflakes sprayed, and they crunched when you walked on them. They had to dub the voices over it. So now, he decided silent snow, and that's what they got.
No kidding.
That's great.
But Carolyn,
now,
what did win that year? It wasn't It's a Wonderful Life didn't win.
You know, we were just talking about that.
What?
We couldn't remember.
We just heard, thank you, Karen, our producer.
Hey, I was only 6 years old. Come on.
It was won by a gentleman's agreement. We've now figured that out. Thank you.
Gentleman's Agreement was the winner.
Okay.
All right, we're going to take a look around some of the memorabilia and some of the items that Carolyn has in her house here. Look at this. Now, this is a recent piece, but it's very interesting. It's a Far Side, signed by Gary Larson. Now, tell us the story about this.
Well, the littlest boy in the movie, Jimmy Hawkins, thought it would be a nice surprise for me, so he had it, Gary Larson, autograph it, send it to me, and there it is. And here's the jewel of my collection, purchased for a king's ransom from a one-eyed man in Istanbul. I give you
Zuzu's Petals.
That's great.
And as you recall, Zuzu's Petals were, that was a pivotal point in the film.
That's
when
integral part of the movie because he had them in his pocket, and then he lost them, and then he got them again. And this year we've decided, I think he Capra wanted it to show that I saw him put those petals in his pocket.
Now, the film wasn't a big box office hit when it first came out,
Oh, no,
right?
it was not a success at all. It was quite a flop, as a matter of fact. They marketed it as a romantic comedy, which I think was a mistake, because it was right after the war, and if you went to see a lot of laughs, they wouldn't have happened, you know.
Right.
So in the early 70s, someone didn't renew the contract, and it became public domain. So then every little TV station in the whole United States could show this, because it was free.
So it was interesting for you because you really got to kind of tap back into your childhood through this film.
Oh, I did indeed. It's you know, I found friends that were my parents' friends. I found friends from my school days. It's been wonderful for me.
Great. Look at this. This is a cast photo of the kids in the
That's
film.
the family.
And then if you look to the right, these are the kids today. And you still stay in contact with them, right?
Oh, I sure do. We have a bond.
That's great.
That is.
Now, let's look down here. This is a box that says Zuzu's Ginger Snaps. Now, tell us what part that plays.
Well, that's where my name came from. If you'll remember when Jimmy Stewart found his life again, he was so happy. He ran up the stairs, and he was so happy to see the kids. And I come out the bedroom door, and I say, "Daddy, Daddy!" And he says, "Zuzu, my little ginger snap."
That's right.
And there you have it. It was a product made by the National Biscuit Company. These are all reproductions, but this is what was all about. That's where the name came from.
Wow. Now look at this, guys. When they, this is something from the premiere of the film, from the opening. They had these matchbooks on every place setting at the dinner from the premiere party, right?
There it is.
It's amazing that these have survived so long.
I'm good.
You are. And you got these from the premiere and you just held on to them?
Yes, I did.
That's amazing.
That is.
And of course, Zuzu was famous for the line about the angel getting the wings. That's right. And so.
And yesterday you said its wings.
And it's
his
wings. And when she meets people, they give you angels.
People send me angels all the time. These are just some of them that I have received. This is a Zuzu doll that someone made for me. I have all kinds of angels because it's so special.
That's great. Now, you know, we have seen a lot of cast photos over the years of It's a Wonderful Life, but I bet you've never seen this one. Look at this. This is the entire cast from the film, and there's something interesting about this film. First off, where are you?
I'm right there. And then, if you'll notice, Mr. Capra is right here, and Jimmy Stewart's here. And it was one of those panoramic cameras that moved, and they ran around the cameras, and they're at this end of the picture, too. There's Capra, and there's Mr. Stewart.
Okay, let's answer the question. What was Jimmy Stewart like to work with?
Well, he was very patient, let's put it like that, because I had to ride on his back and in his arms all the time, and he was always ever so gentle. He put me down so gently, because you never take a scene just once. You do it over and over again. But he was very kind.
That's great.
Carolyn?
And he was a character. He was a prankster, right?
Yes, he was. He and Capra played a lot of jokes.
Yes. You said you stayed in touch with the cast members. Did you remain in touch with Jimmy Stewart over the years?
Yes, I have. Yes, in fact, that's a picture of us in New York, right here. We were together about, I guess it was 7 years ago. They did a tribute to Mr. Stewart. And we spent the day together.
Oh,
How
that's
lovely.
great.
It's amazing looking at the walls, just all the different photographs and, you know, the foreign posters for this film. You've got quite a collection.
I have quite a collection, and there is an ornament from the tree.
That's right. This is the ornament from the film. This is a prop that that a prop man gave your mother, right?
That's right.
No
Got it from the movie.
That's great. Well,
That
Carolyn, thank you very much for letting us into your home and showing us your
Well,
collection.
thank you for coming. I always enjoy sharing, and it's such a part of my life, and I think it's become such a part of America. People enjoy it. It's a part of their lives every Christmas, and if I can share that, I love to do that.
Absolutely. Thank you both very much. Really appreciate that. It's just astounding. It is just a once in a lifetime chance. Thank you both very much.
All right.
How special to be part of a movie that shows the difference one person makes in their life.
That's right. It's more than just at Christmas time. Stick around, folks. When Personal FX returns, we're going to be talking about converting your oil lamps to electric. Stay with us.
The Pontiac Firebird waits. 305 horsepower comes to life. Ram air induction turns air into fuel in a rush. Firebird, you're ready to fly.
What's new in potty training? New pull-ups training pads. Totally redesigned to motivate training as no diaper can. They're trimmer with new big kid designs for boys and girls, like real underwear. And now there's just as much protection as a diaper. Diapers can't give your child that big kid feeling. Pull-ups can. And that's the best motivation to train there is.
Mommy, wow! I'm a big kid now.
Mom, I decided to bake us some of your delicious new Snackwell's Devil's Food Brownies.
Don't you think you got a little carried away?
I couldn't help myself. They taste so moist and fudgy.
But, Mom, you bake so many.
Oh, they're easy to make. I forgot my keys again.
Mother?
Son!
Now there's a Snackwell's you can bake. New Snackwell's reduced fat brownie, muffin, and cake mixes from Pillsbury. Try the new frosting, too.
On the next Baseball Minnesota, it's the day of the final championship game, and you won't believe what happened.
How do you see that from right here? You were standing right here.
From the coach that forgets his lucky hat.
I got a problem.
To the rookie who gets his shot at glory in the last game of his life. To the most embarrassing error in playoff history.
The ball hit him in the head.
Don't miss the biggest game of the year.
Let's go.
Very nice.
On Baseball Minnesota, the championship, Sunday at 7:30, 6:30 Central, only on FX.
Personal FX is on the road. In fact, next week we're going to be in New Haven, Connecticut. But New Haven, Connecticut is booked up, so no more guests for appraisals in New Haven. The following week we're in Daytona and Orlando, Florida, and we are booked in Florida as well. But it's not too late for those of you who want an appraisal in San Antonio, Texas. We're going to be heading your way February 24th through the 28th. Also, if you're a super collector and you want to get in touch with us, call our Sprint sponsored number. That's 1-800-FX-FX-FX1. And Andy is joining us now for an appraisal. Hi, Andy. Welcome.
How you doing?
Tell us about this artwork that you brought.
Well, I think it's a print. I had found it at an old lady's house up by me in Sullivan County, New York. It was just something that appealed to me at first. You know, I didn't take a whole lot of time to look at it, but I noticed the number in the far bottom right hand corner.
Yeah, exactly.
And that kind of told me print.
Exactly. You're exactly right.
So what are we looking at?
This is, it is a print. It's a turn-of-the-century piece. It's framed at the time. It's unusual that it's mahogany. It would have been more likely to be oak, but it's a nice over-mantel piece, and it's worth about $75 to $125.
Yeah, actually, the frame is probably worth a little bit more than the print is, and I would definitely agree in the $100 range.
That sometimes happens.
Yeah.
It is a lovely piece.
Yep.
Would you like
the
to see
frame
that?
really appealed to me.
Isn't it? Well, would you like to keep it or put it up for sale?
Yeah, I'd like to take some bids on it.
Okay, we'll see and let you know at the end of the program.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Our number to call is 212-802-0082. And Jane is coming in with, come on in, Jane. I saw the butterflies earlier. Where did you get these?
Well, I retrieved them from an elderly woman's attic about 20 years ago. I don't know if they're too environmentally acceptable.
I was going to say environmentally correct. No, these butterflies. They take these poor little butterflies and smash them on the glass.
24 hours.
They were, yeah. Well, they did this a lot in Rio. They did this as souvenirs, and they would take, you know, moths or butterflies and basically preserve them under glass. This is very typical, sort of a folk art. It came from all kinds of different places. These actually look like they might be
They
American.
do look like American.
You know, usually, as I say, they're from South America. But they are collected. This is a little more unusual than most of them. I'd put this in the $50 to $60 range, and this one in the 75 to 100
You
and a
got a
quarter.
little bit over here, some stuff missing. And if anybody has old pieces like this at home, it's very good if you take a shower to bring the piece actually in the same room so the steam could absorb into
Okay,
the
so the
wood.
steam will help
Keep it
it,
alive
But
a
don't
little
get
bit.
them wet.
You don't get them wet, just
Don't get them wet.
steam, right.
Little
But
steam will
and I
do-
do agree with
will do it.
based on the price.
Yeah.
Would
They're great.
you like to put them up for sale?
Yeah, I'll entertain it.
Okay. Thank you so much for being with us. Let's go back on out and see what Nancy has to be appraised. Hi, Nancy. Welcome to the program. And what have you got?
Hello. I've brought a kerosene lamp. I believe it's been named Gone with the Wind lamp after the style appeared in the movie.
Very pretty.
George and Mary Bailey would have been proud to have it in the old Granville home, I believe. It's probably around the turn of the century, at least before our gas lights and electric lights.
Are there
were
any markings on
popular.
it we should know about?
Only on the wick turner made in U.S. of America.
Excellent.
I haven't really turned it much or looked at it very close because they are breakable.
Well, we'd like to appraise it for you
These are
now.
real popular.
Very typical, very popular. 1890s, Gone with the Wind lamps, even though they were made before Gone with the Wind, named in the 40s.
And they also call them banquet lamps, too.
That's
and
what they
parlor
actually
lamps,
were.
Yeah. But the movie gave it such fame at that particular point, those lamps became known as Gone with the Wind lamps. I think selling about the $1,000 range for something that she has.
I'm a little more conservative on that. You see those in auctions $350 to $450.
Very pretty,
Yeah.
though.
Beautiful.
Exceptionally
Yeah.
pretty. Did you want to keep it or put it up for sale?
I would put it up for sale.
Okay. We'll let you know at the end of the program. It is beautiful. Thank you so much for being with us. And speaking of lamps, we have a lamp conversion. John?
All right, Janet Dickinson from Dennis Hearn Oil Lamps is with us today. Hi, how are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
Thanks so much for stopping by today.
Absolutely.
Now, when we're talking about converting oil lamps to electric, why would somebody want to do this to begin with?
Well, everybody loves a natural flame, but it's not always nice to have it in the home. If you've got children or pets around, there's a little safety element.
So you can do it without hurting the collectability of the lamp?
Absolutely.
Or the value, but in this case, this is something that people do, and this is a mistake.
Right. See, what somebody has done here is they've taken it out to their workshop, and they've taken the clip to it, and they've drilled a hole in the front, which is the space right there that holds the oil. You've ruined this lamp because now you can't convert it back to an oil lamp. And this is a Civil War lamp, and unfortunately, value is ruined.
Well, that's an interesting point, because what we're about to show today, you can convert these back to oil lamps if you don't like it or you want to change it later.
Exactly.
Okay, how do we do that? I guess we have to get some converters here, is that right?
It's so simple. They manufacture converters for every standard type of oil lamp. And I'll show you. It's very easy. All you have to do is unscrew your oil lamp
All right.
and screw in your converter.
It's that simple.
That simple.
Where do you get these converters?
Well, you can, they're specialty items, so you can go to your local hardware store and ask them to order for you. Or, you know, the best resource for getting supplies or lamps or information is the internet, www.oillamp.com.
Well, now, wait a minute. These come in different sizes, don't they, these converters?
They do. They're basically two sizes, a small and a large. Number one is for a 7/8 inch oil lamp, and number two is for a 1 3/16 inch.
Where do you measure? What's the...
Well, you can measure right across here for 7/8 inch.
Okay. And that tells you that it's that simple.
It's that simple. They also have converters for Aladdin lamps and duplex.
Now, I know when you're doing this, I guess the thing to remember, too, is not to have any oil in it when you're converting it.
Absolutely. Never have oil in the font when it's converted to electrical.
Okay, now, also, when it comes to making these cosmetically pleasing, you can use this, well, it's like fishing wire, I guess.
Yeah, right. I mean, my two main concerns would be hiding the wire on the lamp. And what we've done here, helpful hint, is just use the wire, and we've secured it to the stem of the lamp. And number two is your light bulb. You know, you've just converted your beautiful lamp, and now you've got a light bulb. Simple solution. Use a frosted chimney. We've also attached a gas shade here, which is very nice. And over here we have a parchment shade, which comes in a variety of colors and cutouts. My favorite, if you can flip that one over there, yes. What we have on here, I happen to have this lamp, is a beautiful glass petticoat. It flips right on top of the chimney. It's very nice.
That is very nice. And, you know, we mentioned about the converters and that you can convert it back. So the key to remember is when you take these off, don't throw them away.
Absolutely not. Keep it right next to where you store your oil. Do you know those times when, you know, holidays, we might want to change it back or
Sure.
electricity goes out?
Interesting because this is a big mistake. This used to be worth at least double what it is now, and now you can't change it back.
Absolutely.
Very good to know. Thank you so much for stopping by. It's very simple, but very good to know. Thank you, Janet.
You're welcome.
All right. Folks, stick around. We have more appraisals coming your way when Personal FX returns.
FX is on the road to Vegas.
Hang on.
Drive-in entertainment on Vegas. Weekdays at 10, only on FX.
Nice and easy this time.
My sister did without for years to make this business work. Some morning she'd wake up, her back felt ready for a wrecking ball. She'd take 2 Tylenol, but hours later, pain would come back. She'd have to take more. She couldn't take it any longer. So her doctor said try a lead. I could take just 2 leads all day. With Tylenol, I was taking up to 8. So she tried a lead. Keeps her pain away up to 12 hours. It's meant a great deal to her. Who did your hair?
Aleve. All day strong, all day long.
This Valentine's Day, tell them you love them with those 3 little words. Pillsbury sugar cookies. Just roll, cut, bake, then decorate with your own sweet message. They're the perfect way to say, I love you, oh.
You know, meat's a dog's natural food. Meat's what they love. So that's why I feed mine Pedigree, the #1 meat dog food in America. It's 100% complete and balanced and keeps them in great shape.
Pedigree, developed with vets, recommended by top breeders.
Home FX is 4 shows under 1 roof.
Garden variety.
FXMD. Fix It. Family Business.
Each show has its own expert.
Me.
And the same host.
That's him.
In each show, I'll pair up with one of these experts to bring you practical information you can use in real life.
How to grow an edible garden.
New ideas in alternative medicine.
How to refinish your floors.
How to get ready for your kid's first date.
So drop in and see what's happening at home on Home FX, weekdays, 3:30, 2:30 Central.
At the Kylie's, the bread is fresh, the vegetables hot, and there's only one Mrs. Kylie's casserole. And there's only one TV in the entire house hooked up to their satellite dish. So if you're ever at the Kylie's and want to watch your favorite show after dinner, remember, it's first come, first served. Not so with cable. Cable lets everyone watch what they want, where they want, all at the same time, at a fraction of the cost of satellite TV. TCI, we're a little more down to earth.
I never miss it. I always watch Coach and the Gardener. They're my favorite.
Everyone knows that we are the darlings of local media.
I instructed you guys to leave the property. You guys don't have.
Oh, I knew we couldn't be in the mall.
You're not gonna shoot me, are you? Okay.
Brought to you by Subway, Instiprint, Famous Footwear, and Kaiser Ford. Step into the Red Zone every Saturday at 10:30 on Cable Channel 48.
Super Collectors, Saturday, 7 a.m. on the East and West Coast at 6 a.m. Central. And then we'll do it again, 3:30 on the East and West Coast. Again, that's 2:30 Central. We're going to see super collections of Santa, heritage houses, and thermometers. Make sure you check that out.
Welcome back to Personal FX. You were right. It was a simple procedure to convert your lamp.
Just like that. And you can convert it back if you don't like it.
I like that. I'll figure that one out. And let's tell you about the items right now that we've been getting bids on throughout the program, starting with the Star Wars Millennium Falcon and the action figures. Praised $225 for all. Dates back to the late 1970s, and it's in fair condition, but mint condition, it could be worth a whole lot more, right? And then we have the Noritake vase that has an appraised value of $75 to $125. Hand painted, going back to the 1920s, porcelain.
And we also have the Nippon Pancake server, and this was appraised at $125 to $150 from 1890 to 1920. That is hand painted. We've got the letter opener and mail holder, and this was appraised at $150, influenced by Tiffany, made by Bradley and Hubbard. And we also have the bisque figurines, and this was these were appraised at $100 for the pair. And this is from Occupy Japan. Of course, that is unglazed there.
And the wooden frame that we saw. So often happens with a print inside. Sometimes the frame can be worth even much more than the print itself.
Absolutely.
Mahogany wood, turn of the century, $75 to $125. If you see something, if you'd like to join the bidding process, it's not too late to call 212-802-0082.
All right, let's go out to Kansas, where Kylan has joined us. Hi, how are you today?
Good, how are you doing?
Great, thank you. Tell us what you have there.
I have here an early 1900s Wedgwood piece. It's an incense burner.
Very nice. Where'd you get that, Kylie?
Oh, God.
My mother.
Very nice. What do you think of that?
I actually think
How's
it's a
the condition?
potpourri holder, not actually an incense burner. Probably think it's a potpourri burner.
Condition is on
Condition's pretty good on that? It looks great, Kylie.
It's very good.
This is Jasperware from Wedgwood.
unbelievable.
I mean, this is probably his most famous line, most easy to see. It's like a non-porous type of pottery that he did. Was also creamware, which he also did was Queensware, which is, I mean, Wedgwood is Wedgwood. It's great stuff. This is unusual piece.
This is extremely unusual. The colors are very unusual. The neoclassical ornamentation is sort of a Charles X kind of a thing, a Regency sort of thing. This pierced top is very unusual for Wedgwood. The condition is, if it's perfect condition, I'm going to say $800 to $1,500.
Absolutely.
Absolutely
I would say
slamming.
I would say $1,800 to $2,000. And if you ever see any of this type of stuff with multicolors in it, this Wedgwood, it's extremely expensive, the multicolored Jasperware.
Plus,
so
this
keep
looks
your
like
eyes open.
lavender. Is it lavender? and
Lilac.
white?
Yes, it is.
Lilac, yeah.
Incredible.
So up to $2,000.
Yes.
That's what $2,000
It's
is.
a very, very collector's, much a collector's piece.
It's unusual.
Do you want to take some bids on that, or are you thinking about holding on to it?
Yes, I would like to take some bids.
Let's see what happens. Thank you for bringing that by. It sure is interesting.
Thank you.
Okay.
We've seen some very valuable pieces on today's program.
Very
Whoa.
nice.
Let's turn to the mailbag. We have a letter that was written by Ken Soffin from Spokane, Washington, who writes, I have a board game from 1962 by the Harrison and Winter Company. The name of the game is The Kennedys. The game may have been played once or twice, but is in overall good condition. The game lets each player choose his or her favorite candidate, who strives to triumph over his relatives for national prominence. I'd like to know the value of this game. I haven't seen this game before.
No, they did a lot of, a few different Kennedy games. Actually, some were like unlicensed pieces that they did. This is actually a licensed piece. I think it's a great piece. The guide value is about $150. I really think it sells in more like the $100 range, though.
Still a lot of these out there?
Yeah, there are a few out there. I mean, it was a pretty popular thing having Kennedy games around the house.
Pretty funny.
Deirdre, agreement in terms of the price?
That's his area.
Take it away.
Yeah.
Ken, thank you so much for your letter.
Boy, if they ever put my face on a mountain, I hope there's an earthquake or something. Anna Smith is on the phone now from Napa, California. Hi, Anna. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
Great. Thank you very much. Tell us what you'd like to have appraised today.
Oh, we have this lantern that was belonged to my father. My daughter wrote the letter, but it belonged to my father, and I think he bought it at an estate sale back in 1950. He said that he thought it was a lantern that they hung on the sides of the old buggies years ago. And
Anna, I tell you what, I'm going to stop you here because Alan is saying that he has a different idea about it.
Yeah,
No, it's not a carriage lantern.
This is a Dietz lamp. The company's name is Dietz. They were very famous for making railroad lanterns.
Exactly.
This happens to be a railroad lantern.
That's what it is.
And they would also make lanterns for all other different purposes, too.
Often you found these with one side red, one side green.
And it was signals that they used to give
Exactly.
signals to each other on the railroad. This piece probably selling about the $350 range.
It's interesting you said it because the letter says the words Dietz and Junior Side are inscribed on it.
I see that.
So it's like we know something.
For some reason I'm there, right?
So this is a railroad lantern.
Yeah.
We know that. And its value is how much?
$250.
I say up to $350.
Okay.
They're collected.
Anna, do you want to take some bids on that, or do you want to hold on to it?
yes, I would like to take bids.
We'll let you know. Thank you so much for being on the phone today. We appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
Okay.
There seems to be a lot of people who have something that they want to know more about because we get lots of letters around here. What you have to do is send us a picture or a videotape of your item and include as much information about the item as possible. Makes the appraiser's job a whole lot easier, right, guys?
Send it to the following address. Don't send the item, just the information to Personal FX, the Collectibles Show, P.O. Box 825, Madison Square Station, New York, New York 10159-0825.
It's almost that time, folks. Big bids are next. Stay with us.
Every town has its share of conflict.
I'm a transsexual.
My daughter's in his class. Every town has its share of tragedies.
Is he going to die?
Dear God in heaven. And through all the struggles,
I don't even know who you are anymore.
every family must find a way to triumph.
The good in this world still outweighs the evil.
The people, the problems, the solutions. Take a look beyond the picket fences. Every day at 1 p.m., 12 Central, only on FX.
Let me tell you about fish sticks. They're crunchy, and it tastes really good. You can pick them up. You don't have to chop it up like this, all to pieces. Then you dip it in. V-A-N, decant. I usually eat 4 or 5.
Vandicams, the fish kids like to eat.
You should get your mom to get some.
In 1991, I was diagnosed with breast-to-bone cancer, but I chose to fight and not give up. I saw a commercial for Cancer Treatment Centers of America, and it was a beacon that led me to a hospital with a completely different approach. They believe in treating you mind, body, and soul, and what a difference. They use all of the standard medical procedures, but they add to that nutrition, spiritual, and psychological counseling. Now that I'm well, I feel a responsibility to help other cancer patients find the care that they too deserve. Cancer Treatment Centers of America take away that helpless feeling by making you an active part in your recovery. When you don't feel helpless, you don't feel hopeless.
Find out how we can help. Please call us today at 1-800-843-1896. That's 1-800-843-1896.
The first call that any patient should make should be to Cancer Treatment Centers of America.
Get ready to get down.
No problem.
Because all this month, FXM Movies from Fox is duded up for a retro rendezvous.
It's a flash to the past, chock full of television's grooviest stars in some of their earlier 20th Century Fox adventures. Plus, all this month, FXM is featuring romances that are just out of sight.
And on February 14th, watch them back-to-back in the Valentine's Day 24-hour Fox Love Fest.
I said no, you filthy pig! I've got my eyes on George Gray when he hosts FXM Shorts, premiering Friday, February 7th, then shown all month long.
FXM Shorts?
Yes, 6 new short films produced by FXM for FXM. 2 of them premiered at the 1997 Sundance Film Festival.
Join Leanne Cornett for the best Sundance coverage on FXM Dailies.
As always, FXM guarantees the best in action, romance, musicals, drama, and comedy.
All shown uncut and commercial-free.
All this month, only on
FXM Movies from Fox.
Contact your local cable operator about this new movie network today.
Before we get started with the big bids, let's all thank Janet Dickinson for stopping by from Dennis Stern Oil Lamps for lighting up our show today. Thank you, Janet.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, let's get started with these big bids, and in order to do that, we'll go out to Kansas, where Sharon brought the Nippon pancake server. Sharon, Kathy from Renton, Washington, called in with an offer of $135.
I'll definitely consider it.
Okay, you consider it. Larry with the Star Wars Millennium Falcon and action figures. Gary from Mission Viejo, California, called in with an offer of $320.
I'll take it.
Gene with the Noritake vase. Lawrence from Tacoma, Washington, called in with an offer of $200.
I'll think about it.
Thinking about it. And Colleen with the letter opener and mail holder. Jerry from San Diego, California, called in with an offer of $177.
Nah, I think I'm going to try and find the matching pieces.
All right. Maybe somebody will call in. Let's go back out to Kansas and let Nancy know for the lamp. Bob from Greenville, South Carolina, would like it for $500.
Greenville, South Carolina. I believe I better think that one over.
Please do. And Pat, for your Vis figurines, Gail from Fort Worth, Texas, would like them for $156 for the pair. Sold. Andrew for the wooden frame, Sherry from Wyoming, Michigan, wants them for $112.50.
Sold.
Sold?
Sold. Let's go say goodbye to JD. Tell him what a great job he did all week. JD?
Hey, thanks a lot, John and Claire. We want to thank all of our contributors this week. We've seen some great collections, and we especially want to thank Carolyn for letting us share in her It's a Wonderful Life collection. She has a It's a Wonderful Life cookbook, which is available in bookstores. And if you want to join the Zuzu fan club, call the show, and we'll put you in touch with Carolyn. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I just want to thank Carolyn for making the movie, man. That's one of the best.
How lucky and privileged I feel to have done it.
Well, thank you both very much. We're lucky and privileged to have you on the show today.
Yes, Carolyn, it's very special to have you as our guest today. Isn't that wonderful? Thanks to all of you for being part of the show. Have you had a great time? Great day. And thanks to all. Did you have a good time today?
Yeah, I had a
good
good time.
So did I. And thanks to all of you at home for being part of our show. Have a fabulous weekend, and we'll see you back here on Monday. And Monday we'll be with a professor of Yale in the New Haven, Connecticut area. Dexterity games, folks. Dexterity?
I don't know. We'll
Dexterity?
find out.
We'll
That's
find out,
Monday.
yeah.
So long, everybody. Have a great weekend.